What did they say?
Action.
Welcome to Take It or Leave It, where I find trending videos and ask my hubby / personal trainer of 10 years whether we should take it or leave it. This video is about someone's secret to losing 30 pounds in 4 months, I believe.
Oh,
Let's get into it.
let's find out the secret.
I lost over 30 pounds in 4 months, and here are the 5 things that I would do if I were to start all over. Only way you are going to lose body fat is by being in a calorie deficit. I want you to go on Google, look up TDEE calculator, and that is how you are going to find your calorie deficit. You're going to input all of your information, your height, your weight, your activity level. Now it's going to give you a maintenance. You're going to want to subtract about 100, 200 from that number to get your calorie deficit number. Okay.
Yeah, nailed it. First one, need a calorie deficit. You're not gonna lose weight without a calorie deficit. I use similar online calculators. I don't think 100, 200 calories is a very big deficit. So like for some people, you may do that and you're gonna maintain probably a lot of people. So I would recommend a little bit steeper deficit than that, 300 to 500. But the calorie deficit, yeah, like that is the foundation of weight loss. You do not lose weight if you're not in a calorie deficit.
Question.
Answer.
Calorie deficit.
Yes.
How do I know when I should be going up versus being in a deficit, I guess is my question.
So you're only going to go up if you want to gain weight. And for most people, when they're actively trying to gain weight, it's gain muscle. You're going to go down when you want to lose weight, which for most people is going to be body fat. So it just depends on your goals. If your goal is to build muscle though, like you need resources to do that. And so you need to eat a little bit more than your maintenance, what she referenced as TDEE. And if you want to lose weight, then you need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to be a little bit under.
Where do I even begin? You want to prioritize protein in every single meal. You wake up, 30 grams of protein. Lunch, 30 grams of protein. 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt is 18 grams of protein. Add a scoop of protein powder, it's 30 grams right there. 3 ounces of deli turkey in a wrap. Easy, on the go. It becomes that much easier to stay full, stay satiated. It will help you lose fat and keep muscle.
I mean, deli turkey is gross, but she is correct about
Never tried
everything
it.
else. I mean, deli meats are gross. They're
love-
slimy, but
I like
also
having
turkey
taste
is
buds.
the worst meat.
I have them. I have taste buds, sorry. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
I don't hate
pass.
myself.
But the advice is good. It's great. Prioritize protein every single meal. It's going to keep you more full. So as you eat less calories, you're going to be more satiated. You're going to feel more full from the food that you're eating. And then as she mentioned, you're going to maintain muscle. So one of the hard things about losing weight is that inherently our muscle is at risk. But if we strength train properly, if we get enough protein, then we're going to maintain that muscle mass, which we want to do in order to have a nice body composition after we lose weight. We don't want to be skinny fat. We want to keep that muscle. So protein takes care of that.
Skinny fat.
Yeah, like when we first met, and I looked like a cross-country runner instead of a lifter.
That's so true. That's very true, actually.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Number 3, strength training. Might be a little scary, might be a little daunting. I promise once you pick up a weight, you will see how fast that weight starts flying off. You will be burning calories even after your workout because that's what strength training does. That's what lifting weights does. You just strength train and do nothing else and don't prioritize your calorie deficit or protein or your steps or your cardio. Not going to help. All of these things mixed together is the key for fat loss. I've done it. Start off with 3 to 4 times a week. It doesn't have to be crazy. Find a workout split that works for you, that you love, and that you enjoy, that you could see yourself doing long term. It isn't just a quick fix, it's a lifestyle change.
You should be strength training. Now, she wrote 4 to 5 times a week. She said 3 to 4 times per week. Depending on what works for you, I think anywhere from 2 to 5 times is fantastic. Start where you can, even if it's once a week. I think twice is a big jump in terms of the effectiveness of your workouts. So twice a week is why I put that as kind of the minimum. But even once a week is better than 0. So do what you can, build from there. But you should be strength training because you want to maintain that muscle mass. Or you can, even in deficit, build some if you're a newbie lifter. So that's going to be important too. Now, she did over glamorize the effects of strength training a little bit in terms of like burning calories afterwards. And like your weight's not going to move, or it's going to move right away as soon as you start strength training. And honestly, most of the time that's not true, because as you start strength training, most people actually gain some weight, but it's not body fat. It's water. It's carb storage in your muscles because your muscles want more carbs as you're strength training. So for most people, it can be a little frustrating when they start strength training and start trying to lose weight at the same time, because that body fat loss is going to be balanced out by the water and carb storage weight gain, if that makes sense. So then they kind of stay the same, but their body composition changes. They actually get leaner, even though their weight isn't going down. So I'd caution you about being so optimistic about starting strength training and you're going to see your weight drop off right away, because that probably actually won't happen. But over the long term, it is extra calorie burn. It's going to help facilitate weight loss. It's great movement. It's great for your overall health. Like, it does help weight loss when you're pairing it with that calorie deficit and the protein.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that because I feel like I've never been super overweight or big. If anything, I've been thin and like lightly muscular, barely, if anything, because I was, poor nutrition, living off of ramen and Starbucks.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
But I was a size 0 to size 2, so I don't know, you know what I mean? But when I started working out, it was different in that sense. And she's like, oh, you're going to shed like this. And I'm like, I don't feel like we're all at that starting point, though. And some of us who are already lean or are, working towards starting at a different starting point, I think it kind of sets hard expectations, because it made me, when I saw that video, think like, well, why am I not just shedding pounds? Mind you, I'm postpartum, so it's a little different. Mm-hmm. That doesn't just fall right off immediately and easily. So
yeah, I actually have to prepare my clients and like preface anybody who's just starting to work out with me and is going into a calorie deficit, is aiming to lose weight, of like, hey, like, be patient at first, because chances are your weight's not going to budge, but you're going to notice that your clothes are fitting better, that you're looking leaner, like that you can see a little bit more muscle definition, things like that. That's going to be a more important indicator up front of if the strength training is being effective, if the calorie deficit is being effective. And then after kind of that initial phase of your weight staying relatively stable, then you'll start to see the calorie deficit kind of take effect on the scale. But yeah, up front, like, the body fat loss kind of balances out with the water and carb weight gain at the beginning. And so it's usually a moot point.
The fourth thing, your steps. I didn't realize how much walking has changed my physique and my body and my mental health and my clarity. I used to get like 4,000 steps a day. Now that I am aware of my steps, for a 10-minute walk after lunch, 1,000 steps. Buy a walking pad. Wake up 10 minutes earlier, another 1,000 steps. It helps you digest. You're not as inflamed. Now my body just loves it. It craves it. It craves movement. Like, make that your you time. I go on walks to think about my life. Think about what my goal is, what my why is. Why am I walking? Why am I doing all these things? Because I want to become the best version of myself. And I know that if I invest in myself and pour into myself, it will pour back into me eventually.
Steps. Amazing. That was the most like dramatic interpretation of the benefits of steps I've ever seen in my life. But she's right about what she's saying in general. And steps are great, and especially if you're moving 3,000 to 4,000 and you go to 8,000 to 10,000, like, that's a not insignificant calorie burn. And research will show us that for people to maintain weight loss, about an hour of daily movement is key for really being able to maintain that. And steps is a very accessible and low intensity way of getting an hour of movement a day. So if you can stack up that hour in one go, that's great. If you can stack it up in multiple bouts throughout the day to kind of get consistent daily movement, that's even better. But just move every single day. I think that's a huge challenge for us in today's environment of lots of desk jobs, working from home. I know I have to push myself to get steps, even chasing around kids all day. So if you can get consistent daily movement, that's a huge help for not only losing the weight, but if you keep that up, you're also going to be able to maintain the weight loss.
What about running and jogging?
So they honestly end up being similar in terms of the same amount of time, or the distance of walking versus running versus jogging results in a pretty similar calorie burn. So like if you run a mile, we'll call it at a decent pace, that's 10 minutes. If you walk it, it's going to be double that. So you would think that maybe you burn more calories running because it's a higher intensity, but you're really going to burn the same amount of calories over the same distance. Did I just lose you?
What?
It is roughly equivalent.
I didn't know that. So it's like, it's like the speed limit's 50 and you're going 80 and you maybe save yourself 5 minutes, but that's it. It's like maybe there's a slight difference, but it's just not enough to justify going 30 over and getting a ticket.
I guess I think about it more as like time efficiency. So like if you only have 10 minutes and your goal is to get a mile of energy expenditure, then go run. If you've got 20 minutes to walk that mile and you'd rather walk instead of run because it's less impact on your body or it's just more enjoyable, then go walk. So it really comes down to that time efficiency piece, because at the end of the day, if the distance is the same, then you're gonna burn roughly the same amount of calories. But yeah, get your steps. Steps are great. Secret weapon right there for weight loss, for sure.
If you are tracking everything you're eating, you're in your calorie deficit, you're moving your body, you're getting your steps in, the first 2 weeks are the hardest. You're gonna be like, this isn't working, this isn't for me. After that like 2-3 week mark, the weight will melt off. It is an addictive feeling. Once you start seeing those first 5 pounds come off, this is amazing. This is like everything I needed. Beginning is the hardest part, I promise, but once you start, you will not want to stop. It's been 4 years now and I have maintained this body. You can get there and you can do it too. Lessons I've learned from losing 30. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to know, any advice, questions you have for me. I'm ready. I'm here to answer and ready to help you become your best self.
Her advice is great. I like the advice at the end of giving it at least 2 weeks, but I'd extend that timeline even more, because a lot of time bodies are weird, let me tell you. And it's not going to be linear, just like, hey, after 2 weeks, everything's going to trend down and your body fat's gonna melt off, like she says. So it's a little bit of a dramatization, but you need to give it time to work. So you need to be consistent for longer periods of time and be patient and allow the habits that you're implementing. And again, these 4 that she mentioned are great. Allow them to work, because again, bodies are freaking weird and you'll be doing everything right and not seeing weight loss. And then you'll do like something wrong for one day and all the things that you did right for 2 weeks will like just hit a tipping point on that same day that you did something wrong, and you'll lose like 3 pounds overnight. And so bodies are just freaking weird. So give it time to work, be patient with the process, understand that no matter how consistent you are, there's still ups and downs, and just go with it and just really trust that the habits and the behaviors that you're doing are going to work for you. And if you do that and you do it consistently over time, you're gonna win.
Cool. So in this case, it sounds like we're gonna take it.
I will take it. I will take the dramatization of steps and strength training and all things, because she gave great advice. Like she'd go hard behind it, but she's right. The things she said were great.
I think they were great points. I do think she was selling it a little too hard, and to say that, oh, you know, in such a short amount of time, you're gonna see the impact. It's like, I think everyone has a different starting point. And I've always, except for obviously living off of Starbucks and ramen, I've lived a pretty generally like clean lifestyle. And so it depends, you know, maybe you might see a drastic difference if you're going from McDonald's to no McDonald's or whatever, you know, like I think everyone has a different starting point. So I don't know. For me, I was just hesitant because she was selling it so hard in this very like whimsical manner. But I think that can set people up to fail if they get the wrong impression of how like quick and dramatic and like all these other things.
Well, yeah, because if you go 2 weeks in a day and then the scale hasn't budged, a lot of people are going to get discouraged, because she said 2 weeks and it melts.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's just not going to be the case. Almost every time, it's going to take longer than you think. It took me 1.5 years to lose 75 pounds, and I was a thick boy who was doing absolutely nothing right. So like I should have been able to lose weight quickly. And after 3 months, I stepped on the scale because I was feeling more energetic. I felt like my clothes fit better. I felt like I looked leaner in the mirror. And I was like, now's the time to step on the scale for the first time since I started and see how much progress I made. I was like 10 pounds easy, maybe 20. And it was like 3 to 5 pounds. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing all this for? Like I'm working out damn near daily. I completely overhauled my diet. I did all the things for 3 to 5 pounds over 3 months. Like this isn't worth it. But the changes were happening kind of under the hood. I just needed to give it more time to really reflect on the scale. Because again, bodies are weird. So give it time, trust in the behaviors and the habits. Again, these are 4 great habits to lean into. They will work for you if you work on them.
So take it.
Take it.
And that's it. That's all she wrote.